welcome back to Cindy's Library. And I've talked a bit about manga and graphic novels before, and no doubt I will do so again. But today I'm going to talk about one that I have not talked about yet, and that is Schlock Mercenary by Howard Taylor. So let me show you this one. Recently read Big Dumb Objects, Volume 16. This one, the Kickstarter, is finally able to be completed, and so very happy to finally have this one. Excellent story. They're all quite interesting. The one I'm rereading right now is this one, Broken Wind. So this is what it says. Well, let me give up some background information first. What is Schlock Mercenary about? Schlock follows our hero, or maybe he's more of an anti-hero, or a not hero. The amorph Schlock. That is him right there. So as you can see, quite a flexible guy, not a lot hurts him. Anyway, he is a member of a mercenary group called Tygans tufts, or Tygans tufts. Yep, it's 1,000 years into the future, and we have starship travel to all sorts of wonderful and strange worlds. Tygans tufts are just out there to make a buck, and if there's trouble to be gotten into it, they will manage to get into it and somehow manage to get out of that trouble too. So, yep, this is the one I am currently reading though. The Tufts have taken a small contract in a very, very big place. It's just the sort of mission Captain Tygan excels at, but his gunboat isn't answering to him, and his command chain includes the outed spy who stole the gunboat, the retired general who took it for a joyride, and the disgraced major from whom it was stolen in the first place. With air on both sides of the airlock, it's tempting to start throwing people through it. They'll fall for days, provided nothing with wings decides they look tasty. Yep. If there's trouble to be gotten into, Tygans tufts will get into it. Schlock Mercenary was originally an online comic, a web comic. It just completed last year after 20 days. That is absolute, or not 20 days, 20 years. And not a day missed of being updated, which is absolutely incredible. Howard Taylor gets major props for that. But not only did he manage to put out a comic every day for 20 years, and of course, he didn't actually necessarily do a comic every day. A lot of days he might spend a couple days working on a whole week's worth of comics and then spend the rest of the days of the week doing other things. But not only does he manage to do that, not only does he manage for that daily comic to generally have some sort of punchline at the end in 4 strips, or if it's a weekend one or the Sunday one, well, or not 4 strips, 4 panels, and or if it's the weekend one, 4 panels times 2 or 3. He also managed to do all of that while having an overall story arc and character arcs and growth and a beginning and an end in each volume. So you can still read all of it online. I will link that below. Encourage you to check it out. Howard Taylor would say not to start at the beginning, and that might be wise. He is just as funny at the beginning, but not so good at an overall story necessarily, and the art is improved a tons from where it began. The first one that I began with was Volume 6, Resident Mad Scientist, one of my favorites because, of course, one of the members of Tygans Tufts is indeed a mad scientist, and in that volume there's plenty of the usual mayhem, but there's also of plenty of mad science going on as well, which is great. Now, these say they are for ages 14 and up, and that is probably fair. These are space mercenaries. There's plenty of shooting and hurting people, unmoral, amoral, questionably moral decisions, although our heroes usually end up, if not being moral, at least not doing anything real bad. They are mercenaries. That's the simplest explanation. So yeah, probably not for children. Oh, maybe not the youngest teens, but they are hilarious. So let's see, some of my favorites volumes, they include Resident Mad Scientist, so that's a pretty good place to start. The Longshoreman of the Apocalypse, in which there is indeed a longshoreman, and he indeed does preside over an apocalypse. Massively Parallel, in which the Tufts have to split up but all come together again, as do their stories. Force Multiplication, in which the smallest and seemingly weakest member of the Tufts saves the day, which I absolutely love. Oh, lots of good ones to choose from. So yeah, I would not start probably with the first several volumes. I'd go further in, at least Resident Mad Scientist. Uh, from that point on, you can probably choose just about any volume and get a good story and quickly get a feel for Schlock's world and all his friends. So, what can I say? Space mercenaries shooting things up. Some days, that's exactly what you need. So, if you've read Schlock Mercenary, I'd love to hear what you thought of it, what some of your favorite volumes are. If this inspires you to try it out for the first time, I'd love to hear what you think. And if you have your own graphic novel, webcomic suggestions, love to hear that too. I'm sure other people might be interested as well, so feel free to leave that along with any other comments and suggestions. And I think that's everything for this time. So thank you so much for stopping by Cindy's Library. And until next time, I hope we all stay safe and healthy. And as always, happy reading!